this meta, the state this game is in right now, is a direct result of the developers being absolute goofballs for thinking that this character is okay. And it's funny because the nerfs she got really didn't mean nothing because she is still as stupid as she was before. And I will also like to add that this game took a turn for the worse ever since she came out. It was already kind of heading in the wrong direction. The patch when they gave this other dumb character this move, it got nerfed, quote unquote, but you know. And once they dropped lab coat, the game just took a turn for the absolute worst. And like I said, I put it on the developers, but the bigger the majority, I would say, is that's at fault in my opinion is the community, the players. Yes, I'm talking about y'all. Not all y'all that's watching, but some of y'all. Because some of y'all that's watching are definitely gonna be the people that I'm talking about, I'm sure. But don't tune out though. Don't tune out because this can be enlightening. Enlightenment, is that the word I'm looking for? For y'all. So to kind of shed some light on how I feel and might put some things into perspective. But yeah, I came out the video swinging, way out mask, and we finna get into this because this fusion meta is horrible. It's horrible. So I feel like this meta has showed me that people are extremely lazy. Now, I felt like people been lazy since the beginning of time, since this game been out, but it's more apparent with this season because now we are at the point where people feel like Blue Gogeta, Vegito, Super Saiyan 4, and Labco are just these unstoppable characters. And I want to first off say Blue Gogeta is not bad as people make him out to be. As I always said, even in my older videos about him, that he only as good as the assist that's backing him up. He is not all that with a lot of teams. He has to have very specific teams that cover his flaws. That's why he is so good right now because of the teams that he with, not him by himself. And Super Saiyan 4, outside his auto combo and his lariat, he just fine. The main culprits is Labco and Vegito. Those characters are stupid. They are silly. Labco just feels unnecessarily just good for no reason. Like they just did way too much on her. But the point I was getting at is that it this game has showed me, or this patch has showed me, a lot of people don't try to lab. So, for example, like this, and I would get hit, but something like that. I remember Shanks first showed this. You know, Labco players love doing this and make them think they good and call Vegito A. You got answers like that because for those that don't know, the reason I'm dashing up, let me just show you, is for those unaware. So as you can see, I'm holding down the block afterwards. Lab code. So if I stand here, it goes full screen. But for those that don't know, if you keep walking back, you actually can punish her. You can actually punish lab code. Let me find a faster character. So, like, Blue Gogeta, I'll show his a little later when I'm talking about him. Or if I do talk about him. I don't know. But Blue Gogeta, like, his lariat just goes full screen no matter if you walking back or not. It forces you to block it, no matter if you walking back like I am. But lab coats don't do that. I don't remember if y'all Remember when I made that post and everybody tried to meme, oh, fighter player learned how to whiff punish, you know, and then it turned into a giant meme fest instead of absorbing that it's something you can do at least verse this move. As stupid as it is, you know, it's something, you know. I'm not finna complain and just not try to find answers. I'm gonna complain and find answers, hey man. I'm gonna at least do that, you know. And and if you notice, like lab coat players and like the top four characters that's played, the top four characters that's played. I gotta say that again because I don't feel like those are top four anything. I don't even like saying that stuff. Besides Lab Coat and Vegeta, I feel like they are like the cream of the crop. They all play the same. I'm sure y'all can agree. You see these people that play online, these tournaments, all of them play the exact same. All of them do the exact same combos, setups. So this is very common that you'll see somebody do dash up, EX, and then call Vegito A assist or, you know, any other assist. So what you can do to try to mitigate that is at least just trying to, you know, just trying to reflect. Now, before somebody comments, you know, I hate a all you gotta do kind of dude. You know, that one person that I always say, all you gotta do is, you know, so I know that'd be that one person that say, all the lab coat player gotta do is dash up and, you know, not do nothing. And my rebuttal would be, and all I gotta do is not do nothing. You know, so times like that is when you pay attention to the player. And like I say, most of them, if not all, 98.99% of them all play the same, all do the same stuff. You know, you can try to mitigate it doing this, or of course you can do that as a cooler player. I remember Shanks was talking about that, and uh, you know, this is what I mean about finding answers. You know, like as much as people talk about all these long normals and how good characters are, and you know everybody else feel inferior, you know, why ain't nobody playing with Cooler? You know, Cooler got these big dumb normals, but don't nobody play with them. And I ain't trying to hit at all. He ain't got no mix kind of thing, because you know, Vegito is really just pressuring you to death for the most part, and he just gets his level 3 stuff. Besides that, Vegito is not really doing some high low or left right. A lot of times it's just pressure, pressure, pressure until you tired of blocking and you try to mash and then you get hit. So, you know, I ain't trying to hear that about Cooler don't have no mix. Now, and then that's when you get the other side of people saying, well, why play this character if you can play this? You know, I feel like that's such a cop out answer that people say because um, I said this before. The characters on the right, this team, I should say, the team that you see in the teams that you see in the thumbnail, those are all kind of microwave result kind of teams. It'll only get you so far. It'll get you those results. You know how in the microwave, you put food in the microwave, most of the time it don't take that long for the food to be ready. That's what I feel with these fusion and lab coat teams. It don't take long to get them ready, to get them online ready, even tournament ready, honestly. Uh, and eventually, and I notice this by the people I be playing, because I play a lot of these lab coat and fusion teams. Eventually, you will hit a wall, and the characters won't carry you no longer. Your flaws will show. The characters cannot hide them forever. So that's what I mean with microwave results. They'll do good for you. They'll get the wins for you. But after a while, your actual skill and you know, the characters carrying you won't matter no more. And you know, I feel like a lot of characters in this game are absolute BS. And I'm actually going to go to the character select screen in a little bit because it's a lot of characters in this game that I feel like if fleshed out would be a lot worse than the characters we see right now that people think are just unstoppable. And the cycle always happens that people feel these characters can't do nothing. Like look at Yasha Team. Yasha Team back then when it first popped up, that team looked so random. And then look, we was in this era of just Yasha drones until Labco came out, and he made that team, very popular. Everybody knew. Well, everybody used to say 17 won all that, which was crazy. But now look, well, 17 kind of fizzled out a little bit. But when Yasha first popped up, at the USA versus France thing, everybody was playing with that team. But that goes back to me saying people are lazy. And you got people. Here's another thing. You got people that do this now, not as obvious, but like I said, people play these characters, these teams the exact same. They call the assist the exact same way. You got that with Cooler and, Lab Coat. I mean, not Lab Coat, Frieza. You know, now I don't know much about Frieza, but I can clearly see, you know, what is Vegito gonna do? There's not a Key Blast move, so what is somebody actually got good with Frieza. Like, what is the opponent gonna do when Frieza started doing this? Vegito A is non-existent. Like, what is he gonna do? And again, somebody will probably be like, Frieza's not all that. Frieza don't have long normals, this, that, and the third. And again, goes back to the microwave results thing. I think a lot of these characters are good in this game, and I think this game is like extremely untapped. A lot of team compositions haven't been figured out yet, and characters themselves haven't been figured out yet. And I just think people are like mega lazy. And the reason I got Kefla, because I want to show this. One thing that people always talk about with these fusions, and if it might sound like I'm defending this fusion stuff, I actually hate it. This is probably the most boring this game ever been since the GT Season 2 era. But my point is like, you know, eventually you got to stop complaining and try to figure it out, especially if you're going to keep playing. Time to start trying to explore characters and stop trying to play the teams that everybody else playing. So I just want to show you this. So you see Gogeta's EX Lariat puts him right here. I believe his medium Lariat puts him a little bit closer. Now, let me go to Kefla. Oh, wrong move. Kefla is not that much further. She's a little bit further away compared to Gogeta when he does his Lariat, but Kefla is right here. And let me just do this real quick. And we're not gonna just gloss over the fact that Kefla's Lariat goes through projectiles, but we can do the same thing that people hate the fusion characters for, or the other characters for. I forgot she a fusion too, but the more common characters. You get the idea. Frieza A assist is kind of yikes, but she can do literally the exact same thing, got the same auto combo. Honestly, I feel like better than Super Saiyan 4, because hers go in the air, in the Team Gohan kind of way. Anti-airs and all that. Got this move, by the way. Let me see. It's slow, but you get the idea. This is just and obviously I don't know nothing about these characters outside of that, but I got a super general idea of them, and I just feel like people really need to explore and check out characters that not everybody play with. Now, I'm finna go to the character select screen because I just want to look at these characters and just tell y'all who I think is underutilized and who is low key probably some BS. Okay, so for starters, we not finna act like Android 18 can't shut down this fusion meta stuff, this fusion lab coat stuff. Like her neutral literally just wears you down. It tires you out. But for whatever reason, don't nobody play with her. I don't get it. I don't get it. Beerus, you know, as much as people say lab coat just deletes him, it's like, all right, if lab coat, the funny thing is, this video might come off as a rant. Maybe it is, because I get annoyed sometimes when it's just too much complaining and not enough trial and error and trying stuff, you know. But Beerus, I always hear people say Beerus just basically gets nuked by lab coat, and it's like, all right, it's a team game. If she gets nuked by lab coat, just try not to have Beerus against lab coat. It's a team game. Just try to keep them out, or and it's when people say stuff like this, it's like they almost saying as if they are incapable of being able to figure out how to get around that. And I feel like people psych themselves out a lot of times and think that they can't do something. I'm guilty of that as well because it has happened to me a lot of times. I psych myself out, think I can't do something, or something is unbeatable, whatever the case may be. Then it turns out I can actually do it and overcome it. you know, hit is BS. I don't know why don't nobody play with him. Majin Buu, definitely go things. Like people were saying, what's the point? Like this was even last patch when Gotenks had his Gosoki. Like he still got it now, but when his Gosoki was just super good, people used to say, what's the point of playing with him compared to the other characters? And it's like, Blue Gogeta don't got no Gosoki. Blue Gogeta don't have plus frames to make himself plus. Blue Gogeta don't have what else? A EX spin that travels across the screen. He don't have an EX punch move that travels across the screen that keeps himself plus. It's just all these things, and yeah, he takes time to play. But if you really learn him, I feel like he more BS than him and him. I don't know if he more BS than him. That's a different kind of BS. He a different kind of BS, and she a different kind of BS. But like a fully fleshed out Gotenks that know what he doing, way more BS than him and him. And that goes back to again the microwave results. That people just pick these characters and think that that's just gonna make them start winning, which it does for a brief moment, and then after a while they start getting exposed. Their flaws will start to creep in. Super Saiyan Vegeta, I won't say BS, but I feel like he a super good character. Don't know why don't nobody play with him. Super Saiyan Goku, like why ain't nobody playing with Krillin? Yamcha, and the thing is, you can put teams together to make these characters work. And I'm not trying to hit that whole these characters keep winning, this helps me win more. I think Bum said it on his stream. Like a lot of y'all still not winning. Like that don't apply to everybody. A lot of times people say stuff that they hear other people say, and then they just keep saying it over and over. And I seen this, and I know it from experience, because I used to do that when I was younger. I used to do that too. Older I get a man of my own, form my own opinions. I see it, because it's easier to agree with people because you don't have to explain yourself. And if you do got to explain yourself, then it's easy because you just say what everybody else saying. It's harder to disagree because now you got to explain yourself, and now it's different from the pack, what everybody else believes, and I won't say every single character better or could be more BS than what we see now, but my point is like a lot of characters don't get explored. TN, I feel like he kind of getting a little more, in the light, but people don't play with him. Why? People don't play with him. Why? Base Goku, same thing. Why don't nobody play with him? GT Goku, why don't nobody play with him? Blue Goku, Blue Vegeta, Gohan. Well, you know what? Wawa won Evo, so now all of a sudden everybody love Gohan since the anime. Uh, 16. I don't know why nobody playing with 16. Broly, Broly's still good. He just a bit more tame, and he can shut down a lot of the stuff we see with the fusion meta. Well, we see all the time. Zamasu, he's starting to become a bit more popular. He can stop a lot of this fusion stuff. He can avoid it. Jiren, definitely. Janemba, definitely can. Nappa is BS. Like, it's crazy that people don't play with Nappa. Like, man, it's just a base Vegeta. I know it's a bit harder for him because he got a lot of key blast offensive kind of stuff. But I just feel like a lot of people give up too quickly. It's some teams, and I do this lab and team thing, which y'all should check out on my channel. I lab people teams for a price, $15. But I do some good work though, and a lot of times I lab these teams, and people have some very good team ideas, and sometimes people give up on them, and they want to try to play with what's common. Like, let me just go to my team for example. My team, let me see, I'm gonna just pick some colors. My team versus that team, maybe at a glance, the team on the right looks better than mine. But I play this team so much, and I done grinded out like every scenario possible, know them like the back of my head. I do not feel handicapped when I play against this team because I know how to fight against them. Like I said, everybody play them the same, so you kind of know what to look out for. And that's the plus. The downside of playing characters that everybody playing teams that everybody play. Everybody do the same stuff. You gonna be figured out by default. But I don't feel handicapped against teams like this. I didn't feel handicapped when Lab Coat was pre-patch Lab Coat, even though this Lab Coat still stupid, but pre-patch Lab Coat, I didn't feel handicapped because of how good I am with my team. And I'm not even saying that to flex. My main point is that if you really grinded out your team and figured out how they cover each other, and like I say, what I said earlier, these teams, if you really just pay attention to it, they all play the same. It might be one different decision compared to everybody else, but they all play the same for the most part. You know what they expect. And you can actually beat these teams if you really form teams to combat them. That's my take on it. And the last character I forgot to say, I feel like is really good that can fight against fusions well, possibly, especially with his runaway game, is Roshi. Now, the problem is everybody only played Roshi B. I'm not even gonna say they played Master Roshi. They played Roshi B. They was only good with Roshi B. When it came down to the get down, and you had to actually play with them, that's when it became a problem when the Beatrice got nerfed and you really had to play Roshi, and now Roshi bad all of a sudden, you know. But it's so many characters in this game. Just look at this roster, y'all. So many combinations that we haven't seen, and I guarantee a lot of these combinations are better than what we see today. But everybody's so traumatized by these fusions and lab coat and what other players say, and they don't think for themselves. So it just keeps going around in circles of everybody echoing the same thing. That's what it done turned into. And I think that might be it. I think I done ran it long enough. I don't even know what else I wanted to cover about this fusion meta stuff. My final point. Now, if y'all see this video a little longer as I'm saying this, then I mean I thought of something else before I edited it. But as of right now, this video, this whole lab coat fusion meta, is so boring. It is so boring. Like I say, this game is probably at the most boring it has ever been since GT Season 2. And it's wild to me that the developers feel like this game don't need no more fixing at the, you know, at this current time of this video. It's crazy to me. Like Vegito okay, Lab Coat okay, you know, and Blue Gogeta and Super Saiyan 4. Like I say, I don't believe they are ridiculous as people make them out to be. You know, I actually played Blue Gogeta, so I know him like the back of my head. Well, probably not now, you know, things are a little different, but like I got a general idea about him from playing him back when he first came out. You know what? Let's talk about Gogeta. Yeah, I was thinking of making a video about him, but opportunity is presenting itself right now, so let's talk about Blue Gogeta for a second. So Blue Gogeta, like I said, I don't believe he is as bad as people make him out to be. You know, he not this amazing pick up and win kind of character. The thing is, he gets away with a lot of fake stuff, and people don't know how to fight against it. So a lot of his fake stuff will definitely feel very, you know, overwhelming. I give you an example of something mega fake, because now we at the point now where people, you know, I can't really even watch tournaments like that no more, because like I said, it's the same teams, the same stuff, everybody do the same combos, yada yada yada. This right here, that's all you got to do for a setup. It covers everything. Covers everything. You get people doing stuff like this, fake stuff like this, you know, and calling me assists and all that extra stuff is like, it's fake. And, or this one right here. Let me see. This one right here. I seen people do this. Like, if you see this man going clones, like, you can instantly just hit him. Like, people sprinkle in fake stuff with Gogeta, it be making me so mad. Cause like, I believe in doing fake stuff. I believe in doing fake stuff to the opponent shows you that they know it's fake, and then they counter it. But I don't believe in mega fake stuff. Maybe that's hypocritical, what I'm saying, because it's still fake nonetheless. But yeah, you know, people do stuff like this, and they letting Gogeta take his turn for free, and it's like, you can easily just, and you should be able to hit him when you do this. Excuse me. You know, it's just such fake stuff that they do with Gogeta. And the thing that I really want to point out, when I say people just listen to what other players say. Do y'all remember when he first got this? I forgot, what was it, like season 2? He got this that made his neutral better. People still said he was bad. When he got this, ain't nothing changed about this. It's been the same way since like I think season 3, I think it was, when they gave him the 5S full screen and the 2M. People still said he wasn't good. Now, all of a sudden, he gets played more, and you know, and outside of his damage, because his damage always been good, even back then. Outside of his damage, he is more or less the same character. Outside of his damage in the tag combo system, he more or less the same character. Like his frame data, his frame data got better, which is really nice. That's a big plus for him. But a lot of his stuff is still like, this is -8. People let him get away with stuff like that. That's -8. You should be punishing that man. This -13. I seen people get away with this. And players actually let them do it. I'm players, by the way, but still, like, he shouldn't be getting away with stuff like this. That's -10. Like, he is not, you know, this overly just pick up and win kind of character, in my opinion, you know. And another thing, as much as people talk about his lariat, wait, which one am I on? Okay. What is he gonna do when somebody shoots a key blast? What is he gonna do? Now, you could say he'll do this to beat the key blast, but if y'all don't know, you actually can punish this, but nobody does it. I messed it up. I don't know this character like that, of course, but you can punish that. You know, so it's like, what can Gogeta do? Now, of course, it always be that one person again. They'll be like, well, all he got to do is just not do nothing, or super dash, or do this. That's what you call mind games. It's okay if he got those options. That's another thing. People act like if you find an answer to something, that means it's not good. It's like, he just found an answer to it. That's okay. It's a fighting game. Games do that. We find counters. We counter each other. That's what games are about. You know, but my point is, like, you just can't let Gogeta just do stuff like this for free and think that he can get away with it. But again, a lot of people don't know that, because a lot of people don't lab stuff and rather complain instead. Like this. Like this right here. Let me see. You see that? Oops. Let me actually pick Gogeta so I can show y'all how negative this is. I'm -10. You know, you get people that do this, they'll do like a block string like this, and then try to do the EX. But you actually can punish that when they land, because Gogeta has land and recovery on this move. But people don't know that. They just let them get away with it for free. Now, of course, you might get people that do this and then call their assists, you know, and that's fine. Again, that's typical stuff. Now, when you see teams like this, let me do something stupid and call Vegeta A. And, you know, it's just, it's the little things about Blue Gogeta I feel like people overlook. And You know, it's just funny the stuff that he been had like this and his 2M since season 3. He still was bad. Now all of a sudden he just one of the best in the game. All of a sudden, I don't buy that. And like I say, people listen to what other players say and not think for themselves. And my last point for this video, because I remember now the other thing I want to talk about. If you ever play me and you using one of these themes, mainly the lab coated Vegito shell, hey, do not ask me how did I do or this team is so good. What do you think? Do not ask me that. I probably won't even respond. Like those are the dumbest characters in this game. And honestly, I wish Labco stayed banned. That's how I feel. The way they made her, it just feel like they did everything in their power to make her like they gave her everything they can think of to make her a good character, which is crazy to me. So, like, I feel like Vegito and Labco don't take no kind of skill. You know, that's my opinion. You know, I feel like those are the two that make you that's pick up and win. You know, people think they be doing something when they play Lab Coat and Vegito. And I honestly I feel bad for the ones that really like Lab Coat and Vegito. But you know that's fighting games. That you know people pick up whether they see other people playing and they don't even like the character. So it sucks that y'all got to experience that. But F Lab Coat and Vegito. And on that note, I thank y'all for watching. Y'all have a nice, peaceful, and blessed day. And I'll see y'all fine folks next time.